Femina Miss India. Well, winning Miss India title is a lifelong dream and a significant achievement that represents recognition of beauty, talent, intelligence, and on a national stage that too. And today I am honored to introduce to you all one such beauty of grace, talent, and she's rich with cultural richness. Femina Miss India Punjab 2022 Lake Puthaya. Well, hailing from the land of vibrant traditions, lush green fields, and a rich heritage, she also has her own YouTube channel where she shares some of her life moments with her fans. Basically, she tells everyone about what it takes to be on ramp walk from real life. Rest, let's hear it from Lake herself. Hi, Lake, how are you doing today?
Hi, Dipali. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
All right, Lake. So, without wasting single time, I just want you to tell us what inspired you. Because going up to that kind of, Femina Miss India, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of things as well. So, I want to know what inspired you basically.
It's a very funny story, actually. I had just finished my MBA from Symbiosis and I was placed at a company called Infosys. I was about to start in a few months and there was just something in me, although it was like my first job and I was placed at like day zero and my parents were very happy. Everybody was congratulating. Finally, her studies are done and she's out there. Something
Right.
in me just felt, I don't know, I did not feel as accomplished because although that is something that I was studying for and something I given 2 of my years to in a hostel, etc., there was like a weird sense of purpose that felt missing. Felt like my heart was pulling me somewhere, but I landed somewhere else, given just the family that I come from, where a corporate environment is something that they're used to, something that they expect you to be in. And funnily, it was one evening, I was like, serving tea or like picking up a teacup from a table, and then there was a newspaper there, and it had the previous winner, Manasa Varanasi. She's Femina Miss India 2021. She was like, there was a welcome speech of hers and she was a corporate employee, and I mean it looked very funny, and I picked it up and I started to read it because I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And that's the first time I actually realized that you don't necessarily have to be a model to be in Femina Miss India, because her background also stated that she was from a corporate background. I said, oh my God, wow, this seems so interesting. And I kind of had experienced pageants like on a college level in the past, just because I participated in a kind of one or two, just like that. And there was great prize money. And at college times, you really want whatever you can get your hands on. So that was the first time I actually said, oh my God, this sounds really interesting. And then I am the kind of a person that once I set my mind to something, I have to research it all the way through. And yeah, my research started from there. And then I realized that there are training institutes that train you for such things, and understood the organization as a whole. And I thought this was such an amazing amalgamation of talent and personality and your posture and everything put together, which I thought would really enhance me as a person. And it really just started with like one newspaper article. And luckily enough, I think my preparation was on point. So it just like took me all the way.
Well, that's a wonderful story. And I've seen your YouTube channel and now you're training people that too without any fees. I think that's something that people don't do as on purpose because you don't want people to go ahead of you. Right? But you are doing it for free. And I think that's really inspiring for each one of us who wants to become a model, wants to pursue this as a career. I think this will really help them. Also, we have known that this competition is incredibly demanding, right? And you're not just representing yourself, but you're representing the culture and the place that you come from. So you need to have a kind of confidence. Now, I want you to tell us, how did this competition in particular, if I say so, help you grow your confidence and develop your confidence?
I've always believed that I have been a confident person. Like if you ask like my schoolmates, etc., I was the kid who would like raise her hand if a teacher would ask, who wants to read the next paragraph? So that came from a place of I wouldn't shy away from maybe being in front of an audience or being in front of people. But what Femina Miss India did, it quite literally taught me to dream big. Like I did not even know that I was capable of performing at a national stage, that I had skills in me and that I had the potential, which the organization saw. And that was such a great validating point for me, because it made me believe that I really could achieve anything I set my mind to. Because I was a girl who really really would not, like, she had blinders on her. I think a lot of it also comes from the background that I'm from, where I could do my best with what I was given. I did not know that there was a way to actually take those blinders off, a dream for yourself. And so maybe from someone who just thought, okay, now if I'm in college, I will just do like college fashion shows and see if I can do well in it. Once Miss India happened, it just opened up a whole array of opportunities for me. And I realized that I could do anything, be anybody, and inspire others to do so, which is such a powerful feeling to have. And I think that's what that I need.
Right. Well, that's wonderful. I think it was most incredible transformative experience. Also, I want to know that how did you convince your family? Let's just be too much candid. I want to know how do you convince your family because that is something that mostly girls have to work on. How did you convince your family?
To be very honest, I've known that I wanted to be in the entertainment space ever since I was 18 or 19, just because I had an inclination to be in front of the camera. But, I think what parents really have is the fear of the unknown. It's very little to do with restricting you from doing things, but a lot more of their decisions come from a fear-based perspective, where they're like, we don't know that space, and we don't want our child to go there and probably get lost, and we won't have a way to help her.
Right.
So I have been trying to convince them to maybe help me try out modeling or anything as such from quite a while, but it just never reached its fruition, because they just had like, you finish your education and then you can do whatever you want, which in hindsight I think was the best decision I could take for myself, because a lot of the way I think, and a lot of the decisions I make come from a very practical and academically oriented space. Like, I'm very practical and rational in the decisions that I make, because I did not get swayed away by the industry at a very early age. But at the same time, convincing didn't necessarily happen. It kind of became 50-50. I convinced my mom by actually making her see that I'm good at what I do. And most importantly, what helped me was financial independence, because up until I was under my parents and they were taking care of me, I had to listen to them. There was like a certain respect that came from, hey, you're paying for your life, you better finish what you do and then go ahead. So I think as soon as I started earning, I said, I'm going to do what I want to, and I'm going to show you that it's safe and it's credible and I'm in the right path. Like, apne parvarish pe bharosa rakho, sort of a thing, like, have faith.
Right.
I will do the right thing and I will be right by you, and I will not in any way, offend you or insult you or anything like that. So, and I kind of went ahead with it. A lot of my support system was me, and mom kind of came on board halfway, but I think it's mostly just the fact that I could stand on my own feet, and that helped me push ahead.
Right. And also, if you're talented, nothing can stop you. Be it family,
And hardworking.
yeah, and hardworking and dedicated and beautiful like you are. But since we also know that pageantry is often considered just as a platform for beauty, that's
Right.
it's just a beauty platform. But what people doesn't know is that it showcases more than just beauty, different ethnicities, different traditions, and different perspectives as well. So, how do you think this pageantry can be a platform to celebrate cultural diversities? Because since you mentioned it, from different culture, from different states, girls compete together. So, how do you think that this platform celebrates that cultural diversity?
The pageant that I specifically went to, which is Femina Miss India, has a state system, which basically means that there is only one winner from each state. So we had 31 state finalists, including a union territory, that came in, and they quite literally were from that state.
Right.
So although, India, we do talk about secularism, we also know that we are also very territorial and we are very to ourselves. But I think just being in that space, my roommate, in fact, was Miss Mizoram, and we had such different cultures, and she would explain about her food habits to me, and I would listen to her speaking. And it can go either ways, right? Either you can feel very lost and be like, oh my God, people don't speak the same language, I don't sit. And I think what we as a batch did was really enjoy the presence of each other's culture. There was someone from all the way from Jammu, someone all the way from Tamil Nadu, north, east, west, south, didn't matter. We had gotten like souvenirs from our places, and we had like foods that we would share, and just a lot of knowledge to learn. And it just really opened up like we just really got out of our bubbles, and
Right.
saw that the country is just so vast. And I, coming from an army background, have traveled across a lot. So personally, for me, I was quite adaptable and I was aware of all of this. But for a whole lot of them, I think they just opened their eyes out to be more adaptable to any situation and any circumstance. And I love that Femina Miss India does that. And I really hope that in the future they continue the state format, which actually, gives the democratized rights to a girl from each and every state, regardless of how big or small, to come and participate and show her culture to the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Also, for many girls, if I say so, winning Miss India is just, represents a personal achievement. Like, I've achieved this, but what they doesn't realize is that it's country, it's state. It also represents the part that you came from and what you're representing, what you're showcasing, what you brings on the table for the country, right? And also the validation of their hard work, dedication, and talent, of course.
What you said is true. There is a lot of hard work that gets validated with a purpose, right? Where they constantly emphasize on the fact that regardless of your genes, you have to do something for the world around you and make use of it. Practically and honestly speaking, you just are taken more seriously if you look a little better. It's a psychology fact, and that's why people who groom better just do well in boardrooms, etc. It's not just in the entertainment space. So I actually was a part of a road track club for 2 years before I actually did Miss India. And a lot of the work that I did, I made sure, especially when the pageant got closer, I made sure I would go and do social service like every weekend, because they just had a lot of drives. They had clothes donation drives, menstrual hygiene drives, etc. And I was a part of all of it. And at the end of the pageant, although of course a lot of your training and your walk and winning and all of those things take center stage, just going back to those children who I would teach or the people that I would donate to, it's a huge thing, because a lot of like these slums and a lot of underprivileged areas in Bangalore is what we would target. And me just going back with a sash, just I think that the applause that I probably got at one of these schools that I would teach just felt a lot more validating than all of the other that I got across. So I think that is something that I keep very close to my heart, and that is something that the pageant teaches you. It teaches you to think above yourself. It teaches you to think beyond what you are used to and actually focus on the people around you so that you can help and be of help, because I think there's nothing more beautiful and more greater than being of service. I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can do is to help people.
Absolutely. As I said, this competition is also quite demanding. It takes a lot of your hard work, your talent, your dedication. Besides, you need a lot of preparation physically and mentally as well. So tell me, how did you prepare yourself physically and mentally for this competition? Since it's Femina Miss India, we are not just participating for any competition, we're participating into Femina Miss India. So it might take a lot than usual, right?
It's obviously a notch higher for sure, because it's the apex of all pageants. And I understood that there were certain demands that came from the job that I was going into. And let's say physically, I would say I've always been a very active person, which is very important. I think it's very hard for a girl if she just gets into the pageant by, without having to do all of the physical activity. And then she realizes that there is a lot of, because you're in heels for like hours together.
Right.
You're standing in heels. There's a lot of shoots that happen, which is very physically demanding. So all of that involves you to have a lot of stamina, and that cannot be inculcated in like 2 months after you get the news that you've won a certain title. So luckily for me, I have always been going to the gym. So I continued to do that. I made sure that I was exercising every single day and doing my strength training and everything. So in that sense, nothing extra that I had to do. But mentally, I think it took a whole turn for me, because I realized that, you might not be the prettiest person in the room or like the smartest person in the room, but you can definitely be like the most hardworking. You can be like the most well-read and the most informed, and that just comes from a certain timetable that I followed. So I had a timetable version that I'd stuck to my door, which had a checklist of, okay, I have to watch one TED talk every day. I have to, listen to a podcast every day and make sure I'm meditated, because a lot of mental resilience and a lot of patience is tested during the pageant. And I didn't know this this, but I was aware that at the long hours that we would have to be working, and the fact that it's a competition, there is a scope of rejection as well. So you win some, you learn some, but you need a lot of strength mentally to be able to cope with that. And that comes from not really losing your calm in situations which are not in your control. So I think meditating definitely helped. And also, yeah, reading the newspaper. I was somebody who read all the newspapers that came in the house, all the publications that were there, because I wanted to be very well aware of what's happening. Because even though people think that pageants, people just speak about who your inspiration is and who your role model is, and it's very self-driven, they also do ask you political questions. And I did not want to be the girl who went ahead and say, oh, I'm not aware of that. I wanted to be aware of everything that was happening. And so in that way, I became very mentally sharp. I have to tell you that. I think the amount of preparation that you would do for like a NEET or a CAT or any sort of a competitive exam is the same amount of hard work that goes into preparing for a pageant as well. And I think I did that well. Yeah, I used to practice Sudoku also. Like there was a Miss Sudoku as a subtitle, and I learned how to do Sudoku because I was like, I need to be good at everything, regardless of what I win out, what I don't, but I need to be prepared for it. So I kind of learned a lot mentally. I think that's where the most work went in. And I want to say that it definitely made me like a smarter person. Just a little push for you is something that can help. So maybe your friends, make a group out of them and keep them in. But let's say you don't even have the kind of support system from friends, then I think you can still very much rely on yourself. Maybe a few souvenirs will help if you want to carry I remember carrying a photograph of me when I was a child with me. I had that with me throughout the competition. And every time things would just feel tough, I would look at it and I would just say, hey, don't lose hope. I mean, this girl right there, this little kid would be so proud of where you are right now. Don't forget that you're making the inner child very proud, so just go with that. And so even in the space that you're in, you end up being very harsh to yourself, right? You're like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have thought of this better. We're always scrutinizing and criticizing ourselves. But just having maybe like a idol, maybe a God's idol with you if you're religious, and just looking at it and thinking yourself that as long as your intentions are right, you will do great in life. And the competition is just a part of it. Yeah, so I think the third option would be relying on yourself. And I would bank on that over and above everything else, because I think validation that you get from yourself is the most important. And as long as you're making yourself happy and proud and having yourself to pat yourself on the back on days when it's not going well, that support system, maybe everyone else will dissolve away, but you will take yourself very far.